There's a huge glare right over here.
Not so much here.
No,
or
here. It's
but
right
here.
Help everybody is having a fantastic Sunday morning. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. Hey, did you know if you had a cat, what it would say?
What would it say?
Meowdy.
Meowdy.
Asher's face yesterday.
That was the greatest. He was like,
that was awesome. We finished up. We threw the checkered flag on our first season here with karting, CWR, Checkers and Wreckers Racing. You know, it was an absolutely blast, but we learned a lot. So I'm going to count it as a successful season.
It was a good day. I mean, I know Daniel was a little upset because he took a little bit of damage.
Dang it, baby.
And like I told him, I was like, it's part of racing. You know, when racing, you're going to have, I'm not going to say you're going to have more bad days than you're going to have good days, but you're going to have your fair share of bad days. It's part of racing.
Absolutely. But hey, he took it out in the heat. So I teased the show today with what does Dan from BW Sports 1 and Roberto Guerrero have in common?
That was good. That was good.
Well, they both spun out on the pace lap. Whoopsie! Whoopsie! So the one and only Dan over there turns. They check up in front of him, which sometimes, on those pace laps, they do some weird things. But
they do.
I think it caught him off guard. He hit the brake a little too hard, sent it around, and somebody was coming head on, and kaboom! He says, I went on to explain. The guy had plenty of room to move, apparently. That's confirmed from Elliot. So not sure why, but they definitely got his front bumper pretty good, and that's what we had to put the 200-mile-per-hour tape on there.
Yeah. Hey, and if the machine's watching, I met him yesterday.
Right. Well, I'm the machine.
Okay, you're the machine. Yeah.
He's the one that just yells.
Okay.
He was the one kind of holding me up throughout the night.
Good morning, everybody, and we're not ignoring you. We're just kind of getting into our routine here. But he's like, dude, tomorrow you gotta mention this on the show, so I gotta mention it.
Uh-oh.
He's like,
I'm worried.
No. So in Tommy Boy's feature, he got the black flag.
I did,
but nothing that he did wrong. It was only because it was a championship, race.
I did do something wrong. I wasn't going fast.
Well, but I mean, it was nothing that you were actually doing wrong.
Right.
I mean, if it had been any other race, they wouldn't have black flagged you. You'd have been able to continue on. But since there was a championship on the line and people out there racing, it was tight. It was a tight battle.
It was.
So they didn't want to take the chance, you getting in the way. So
I get it. I completely understood.
I do too.
And that's what the track official even came up to me right after that. So huge respect to those guys.
Yes.
And he was like, hey, man, I just want to let you know the only reason that happened is because they were fighting for the championship right behind you.
Hey, and let's while we're talking about that, let's give a shout out to the track workers yesterday.
Oh, they do a fantastic job.
They ran a smooth program yesterday. Everything was just bang, 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 bang. They took a small little break in between, the heats, getting the features going.
Yep.
But man, I had fun.
Yeah.
I had a good time at the track yesterday.
Yep.
I got to hang out with my dad. I got to hang out with you. Got to hang out with your dad. Got to hang out with Daniel, Jasmine, Vidal, Christy.
Nathaniel was out there.
I got to see some guys that I used to race with down at Whiteland. So, it was a good day.
So I met Mr. Wikipedia yesterday.
Oh, Pops.
Man, my dad knows racing. Your dad knows karting.
Yes.
He is on it. Just throwing it out of the air. And he would have just probably nailed that on the top. He's over there wrenching. He just looks like he's in his environment.
Oh, yeah.
He's at the
my
track,
dad
man.
loves being at the kart track. He loves, he's been around karting since the 60s. And
right.
That's what he loves, karting.
So, got to give a shout out to H2K Racing as he was out there yesterday. He's going to Newcastle today, and then he's going to try out some dirt. So the 6-year-old, I'm going to get it's Mr. Hendrickson, but I got to get his first name right. I want to say it's Kaysen, but I have to make sure. I don't want to get that wrong here. So let me check that out real quick. But yeah, huge shout out to him, as that's what I felt so bad about is when I got the black, he stayed to watch. And it's like, man.
But set it up before that. Set it up before that and tell the whole story.
So he comes up, and you said he was kind of looking at you, and because your dad was kind of posted up right by their area, and I went by there, and I had my Abruzzi racewear suit on.
Which that is a good looking suit, by the way.
And he says, "Are you Mr. Checkers and Wreckers?" And he says, like, "I'm H2K."
Excuse me, Mr. Checker and Wrecker.
One of the nicest little kids you could ever meet. And he said, "I'm H2K Racing," because he's made some comments on the page here. So I thought that was absolutely incredible. That was just so much fun to meet somebody out there that's watching. So if you're watching, number one, good luck today out at Newcastle. Yeah. And number two, if I can make it out to that dirt karting event, I'd love to see some dirt karting, because I think that would be
you've
fun.
Never seen it, have you?
No. The only dirt I've ever seen is the midgets and sprints there.
I don't know if they still do, but they used to race dirt karts out in Crawfordsville. The track was called Ben-Hur.
Gotcha.
And it was an oval, but on, I want to say it was the front stretch before you got into turn one, there was a dog leg in the stretch. So you're flying down the straightaway, and there's a dog leg, and you're coming to turn. But it was a pretty big, fast track, and Dad and I went over there a few times to watch, and Dirt racing's a whole new level of karting. I mean, because you'll see guys show up at a dirt track and karting and have a trailer full of tires.
Oh, I believe that.
Because they're constantly changing tires and yeah, dirt racing is too much work for me.
Caleb, I want to get out there too, because I think Caleb, correct me if I'm wrong, Caleb, but
dude, Caleb's been destroying them.
And he's fighting for a championship here. Yeah, so that would be awesome to see him get that done here this season. Good morning, Dwayne. How are you doing, Mr. Climber? Everybody tuning in here today. So, but yeah, really karting. I mean, I like karting. I enjoyed karting because I understood. I mean, karting was that's where you start. I mean, that's where everybody you either get your start, or that's where guys like me go to have just some fun after they're past their prime and they just want to still race. Yeah, I'm not gonna hop in a sports car. I don't have that money. So
to me, karting is the most purest, rawest form of racing.
Absolutely.
You have a motor, you have a tube chassis, you got no suspension. I mean,
very little suspension on these things nowadays.
I mean, there's none. I mean, you go to any other type of racing and they have shocks and stuff like that.
Well, right, yeah, so, exactly. I mean,
the only suspension really is the tires and then the chassis taking the flex.
Right.
So, you know, karting's that stepping stone that a lot of people need in racing, because you really learn how to adjust and tune on the cart and make it the adjustments so it goes out and handles better. I always was told that your tires will tell you everything you need to know.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
and they do. Your tires will tell you everything that chassis is doing.
Yep, you can see the wear on them. Yep. You can see the heat build up on them. You see guys out there with the little infrared thermometers checking their tires. I do the old-fashioned way. I go and I touch the tires after the race to make, because there's been a couple times I felt more heat, like in the inside of the tire, the outside of the tire, and you have to make a little adjustment.
Well, and that's like a tire durometer is your best friend, especially now you guys have to run these spec tires, basically.
Right.
And like I was saying yesterday, not every engine's the same, not every tire's the same. Even though it's the same compound, that doesn't mean it's going to be the same as that other tire sitting over there. That's why you take your durometer, and say you got 3 sets of tires sitting there, check all the hardness of every tire. You may have a set that's softer than the other 2 sets.
And you try to work around that.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Absolutely.
mean, so, like I said, the spec racing, any little advantage you can get.
Every little bit.
But since we're talking about that and coming up, let's talk about your buddy. You interviewed him, Elliot Cox.
Yeah.
So he goes out and was going for a championship yesterday.
He can wheel, man.
And I'm just going to tell you that kid's the truth. He can drive. He because his class had to run with I believe he was running KA.
Yep. VLR.
Okay.
VLR KA. I don't know which one it is,
right.
Honestly. I think it's a VLR.
And had to run with the senior class too. So his class started in the back, then the senior started in front. So
and there's a good gap. They don't just stack them right there.
So in the feature, he goes out there and he passed probably half the field in the seniors.
Right.
So I mean he can drive and he's going to be the future of IndyCar.
I really do think so.
Remember the name, Elliot Cox. He is going to be the future of IndyCar.
So, and what really impressed me yesterday with watching him is he was stepping back and we saw in that heat. He knew that he had troubles not getting around a person the last one in the senior, but they weren't giving much room. So he knew that come this time, with him going for a championship in that heat, that was the guy in front of him. He said, I could have got around him, but I just took my time and I just stayed behind him because I didn't want to mess anything up. I didn't want to.
Smart.
Exactly. A lot of guys his age, a lot of kids his age would have taken that shot and learned, whoop, maybe I shouldn't have taken that shot.
Hey, but you know what he did yesterday that he didn't do the last race?
Finished the race.
He took the checkered flag.
He did. On his season there
both
as well.
times.
And that's funny. I mean, he laughs about that now even. It happens.
But man, that'd be so disappointing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, the thing is I think he thought he was going to have just a kind of an easy, fun run yesterday, and he had to bring it.
Yeah.
So something to look forward to here as we kind of cap off our karting, as we have an interview with Andy O'Gara, the owner of Whiteland, and he kind of talks about, we took him around a lap around the course. We walked at a track walk and talked to him about the track that Whiteland started and took and is in heading towards. So really interesting interview out there, and that'll be out today.
Okay.
So definitely, guys, take a look at that. And we can't thank those guys over at Whiteland Raceway enough. And hopefully,
I heard a rumor that Checkers and Wreckers, Black and White Sports, and BW Sports One is going to be partnering up with Whiteland.
I was going to say, yeah. Hopefully, we complete that. There, Andy said he's definitely going to hook us up with some giveaway stuff over there for the rentals and possibly Speedway indoor karting. So, really appreciate that, and it's going to be fun there. So I look forward to that. What better to partner up with a racing show with a racetrack?
The oldest racetrack and the oldest karting track in the country.
Right, absolutely. So
and it's funny that Daniel gets on there and says, "Ha checkered flag melee." If you look at yesterday, so Elliott takes the checkers, Daniel takes the wreckers. Boom!
He finished yesterday.
He did,
but he did take the wreckers in the heat for sure. Ooh, that hurt. So yeah, Daniel looked like Jones finishing the Clash this year.
Dega, baby.
Oh, man. So Climber asked a question. That's a good way to move in. I think we need to definitely hit on this because what happened
I'm going to say, unfortunately, I'm going to say yes, he does.
Next week?
Probably.
You think he does it next week? Where are they at next week?
I have no clue.
Let me check that.
My thing is, though, and I'm not taking anything away from Lewis Hamilton. He is the best driver of his era. But he will never compare to Michael Schumacher to me. Even though, did you see on the podium today?
That was cool.
Mick Schumacher gave Lewis Hamilton one of his dad's helmets.
Yeah.
That was
and
cool.
it wasn't a Ferrari helmet. It was his Mercedes helmet.
It was.
And I thought that was but it was, at first I thought it was a Ferrari helmet. No, but then he turned it and he saw the Mercedes emblem. So I thought that was
I knew as soon as when he was holding it there because it had the Monster logo on it.
And he wasn't
didn't have the Monster logo when he was at Ferrari.
So that was just really cool to see, and you could tell Hamilton was really humbled by that. I don't think he expected that because I think he started to tear up as he was holding that helmet, and you could just, I mean, like he said, there's been a lot of greats, and I think the announcer put it the best. I think it was David Coulthard. He said, You can say that this man has the best equipment, but at the end of the day, the best drivers get the best equipment in F1.
That's very true.
So there's a reason he's in that seat, just as there was a reason Schumacher was driving the Ferrari back when he was. So I really think that was a great way to put that. So you can't take away necessarily the downfall, I guess, or the record coming to be broken, because will it be broken? Absolutely. Will it take 2 weeks? Maybe, because I don't know. This is a lot of not pressure, but emotion. He's about to top F1. I mean, that's gotta mean
the winningest driver of all time in F1.
Right. That's gotta mean just look at what Fangio, he was up there. You had Schumacher, Senna. Who else is up there?
Yeah, I think Alain Prost.
There's one other big one I'm thinking.
I'm drawing blank here. Was
Lauda? Was Lauda in there?
Niki Lauda was probably in there. Maybe Hunt.
I mean, you just look at those names right there across the board. It's not like, and don't take me the wrong way, everybody, if you're a NASCAR fan, but it's not like it's NASCAR where these guys are, staying so long in these careers. A lot of guys don't get the opportunity like Schumacher, like Hamilton have, to ride in solid rides for their entire, I mean, that comes earned. That's the point I think that a lot of people miss.
When you're the best, you get those opportunities.
Exactly. But that's where I think a lot of people want to downplay Hamilton and say, well, he's driving a Mercedes. I could win in a Mercedes.
Well,
you couldn't have gotten into a Mercedes.
He won when he was in a McLaren. He's won in every car he's ever driven.
Right.
So it's not just the Mercedes.
No, and like I said, you had to get there. So I couldn't. Could I win in a Mercedes? Maybe with a little training, but I couldn't get there to begin with. So.
I did like, though, on the race today, after the safety car, and they were all out there trying to warm their tires. You hear what they said about Hamilton? So, well, he has the DOS system.
Oh,
that helps warm the tires up a lot quicker. The front tires a lot quicker. I was like, I never thought of that.
And then when they restart, that's kind of, I don't know if you'd be allowed to do that in IndyCar, because he's going down the straightaway in that first quarter, before the first corner, just trying to eat those things up as quick as possible. But I mean, that's a lot of guys wouldn't be able to do that. You try to do that, you're gonna miss out. You're gonna lose speed, scrub speed, possibly loop it. I mean, there's a lot of things you could accidentally do in that situation.
And let's discuss today's race.
It was pretty boring up until the safety car. But I mean, it was exciting to see Nürburgring back in the run. It was cold.
Yes, it was.
I wish there was a forecast of some rain. I wish we would have seen some rain here today to kind of throw that into the mix. But
I think if there would have been some rain, I think the outcome of the race might have been a little bit different.
You could have seen Ricardo kind of step up.
That's what I was just getting ready to say, because Danny Rick can wheel it in the rain.
Exactly. So let's talk about Danny Ricciardo real quick, because he's about to make this move to McLaren.
Yep.
McLaren's not really. It's kind of looking like Renault last year. I mean, they've had some strong races, but at this point, he's got to be thinking, man, again, right. Did I make the right decision?
Right. Because you get your first podium in Renault today, and they've been knocking on that podium door for most of the season.
Well, he's got 3 fourth-place finishes.
So the Renault's really been performing very well this season.
Right.
And like you said, McLaren's had glimpses of good runs, but it's like the past few races, they haven't looked like they did in the beginning of the season.
You've seen failures with their power unit, which kind of makes you wonder. You're using a Renault power unit. This Renault is looking pretty good. What's going on here? So I think that's in part of why Red Bull wasn't the biggest fan of those Renault packages, because, hey, I'm failing. Failures. Why aren't you? That was the question kind of around the paddock there. So I think that I don't know. It's just Danny Rick. He's got to be questioning it a little, like Sainz is. I mean, we've talked about that before. So here's a question I want to ask you, because Grosjean possibly has a broken pinky, hand, something like that. Said he got hit with a rock at the beginning. After what we saw with Leclerc last year with Hamilton, when he stayed out on the track and sprayed Hamilton with a little debris, and it hit his helmet. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, like we saw today with the gravel, does F1 kind of look more towards the aero screen?
I think they have to.
Right.
I really think they have to. Don't get me wrong, when the Halo come out, that was a step in the right direction for open wheel cars.
Right.
You kind of innovated that. And, so IndyCar actually had Red Bull come in and design the aero screen.
Exactly.
So, you took some technology from F1 and kind of took it to the next level.
Right. You built upon that is what I look at that.
So now this is where F1 needs to step back and look at the aero screen and say, okay, we need to do something to protect the drivers a little more. I mean, the Halo was a great step. Now we need to take the next step. And, you need to look at the aero screen. Right.
I think that is I would imagine with this new car, I think they add the aero screen on top of that, just because, I mean, like I said, but you think getting hit in your hand would be scary? They're probably somewhat used to that stuff. Imagine having an aero screen and a rock hitting it. You'd poop your pants. All of a sudden, you just hear that smack. Think of when you're going down a highway and a pebble comes up and hits your windshield. You're ducking. It's like it would take some time to get used to, and at the end of the day, you're thinking, "Wow, my hand feels good right now." But it'd make you jump. I'd rather jump than have a broken hand.
It can happen in a cart too.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Not as violently as it does in an F1 car, but it can still happen.
Right, absolutely there. So
running down, Danny Rick comes in third in the Renault, the first podium since 2018 for Danny Rick. So and then second place got Mad Max. There for a minute, I thought he was going to battle for the lead.
He got the fastest lap today.
He did.
Barely scoots out. And that's what Katie Dugas is saying is, the rock screens. we see a lot of rock screens in dirt. I mean, that's one I didn't even think of.
Yes.
I mean, you guys got broken hands, mud clumps, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I would think that, I mean, that's something you just have to put that in play. And yes, is it more money? And especially where you're looking at these dirt classes where some of these are pretty entry level and they try to keep costs down. But man, at the end of the day, a broken hand, a broken shoulder, a broken collarbone, something like that because of a mud clump is a lot more expensive than that rock screen.
Yeah. Now I will say in like the midgets and sprints and stuff like that, as far as hands go,
They're
I mean,
down.
Your hands are more down here because the wheel's not up here.
That's the weirdest steering in the world.
That's just the way they are. So, I mean, I don't really see them getting hit
But
in the
late
hand
models,
too much.
they're out there.
Late models, street stocks, you know, cars, modifieds. Yeah, I mean, they definitely need to come up with something better than what they have. I mean, you have like the wire mesh screen you put in there, which, you know,
it's gonna break the clump
holes
up.
are that big.
It's gonna break the clump up. At
It
least.
will,
it's not
but
getting
you can still get rocks through there.
Right, but think of like when you go outside, you grab a clump of dirt. Man, it's got some girth to it. I mean,
yeah. If we were to go out in the backyard right now and I pick up a clump of dirt and fling it at you,
Right.
It's not going to feel good.
No, absolutely. And then it's going 60 miles per hour on top of that. So yeah, I do. I think that is a lot of things like Katie says right there. You prevent hospital bills, and not even only that, but man, that hand needs to function the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You can't. That's where, especially like me as a local racer, I've got to outweigh risk to reward here. Like, yeah, do I want to go out there and have a good time? Absolutely. If it starts pouring down rain, even if I have rain tires, am I going to go out there? Probably not. I got 3 kids. Well, right, but I got 3 kids. I've got.
I understand where you're coming from.
That's where I have to really outweigh.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm going for money, if I'm going like a career, absolutely. I mean, that's a different thing, though. But a lot of these guys just kind of. I mean, I hate bringing Dale up in this, but if Dale has the Hans device, he's alive. I mean, there's no question about that, I don't think. That holds him in his seat right there. And it's not that Dale couldn't afford it.
Right.
He just didn't want to up. It was you can't move your head.
It was his mentality. He was an old school racer, you know,
well,
because
it changes. You can't.
He wore an open face helmet for years until they finally told him, look,
you can't wear those goggles.
You have to wear a closed face helmet.
Right.
And you know, and he put up a fight about that. You know, and a lot of your old school guys like that. It's like yesterday, I seen a couple guys that wasn't wearing neck braces.
Yeah, and that just blows my mind.
I'm like, you know what? I understand they're not the most comfortable thing in the world to wear.
It is when you're driving out there and
it's
your
hot,
head's flopping.
But you know, here's my thing. It's at the end of the day, if something happens, you don't want to break your neck.
No.
You know, that's something that can kill you.
That's a $50 piece of equipment. I mean, at the end of the day.
I mean, they even have like mini Hans devices for karting.
Oh, I've seen those,
If I was to get back in it, I would probably wear one.
And that's, like I said, though, that's changing because that rock screen, that's going to take away some visibility.
Yeah.
That's going to change the way, and that's like that Hans device. You can't move your head as much as you were once able to with Dale.
You know,
Dale could do this in the car.
But here's the thing, and this is something I was told years ago when I started racing. You know, going back to being able to turn your head. You know, when I was out there on the track, I would look to see who was beside me if there was somebody beside me, but I never look behind me. What's behind you doesn't matter. And that's the way I see it. So you don't need to turn your head to look behind you. I never look behind me.
See, the only time I did like yesterday is when I saw, like I could see them in the, because I try to keep especially if I'm slow like that, an idea where the leaders are. So I'll see them like across the track. And then when I know they're getting up there just because of the position I'm in, that's where I do just peek back because I don't want to be in the racing line when that happens. But if you're going for the lead and you're looking back, that's time scrub.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, and then in the Enduros, when I ran the Enduros, you couldn't look behind you.
No, unless you did this.
Nah. I mean, and you could barely even see the only time you got to see on the sides, like when they come up on the side of you, because your head's, your head's laid back. You're not moving your head much.
With your mind on your money and your money on your mind.
Yep.
So, no, I definitely think that F1 needs to, especially after today, it's a small injury that could have been a lot worse, honestly. I mean, you think of where that could have hit him. What if that hit him in the chest? I mean, sure, he's got a chest protector on, but still.
And now, look, if he can't drive the car next week, then you got to find another driver to put in your car to drive it.
Nico! Which I might take Grosjean, you're out.
He ran good in that Racing Point today.
He's really taken over that Racing Point, and I think he's making a run for Albon's seat. I mean, we've talked about Perez possibly being there. I think it's crazy to think Albon has one podium. Gasly, I think he didn't even have a podium with Red Bull.
Gasly's got to win.
Well, not with Red Bull.
No.
So
with Toro Rosso or AlphaTauri now.
It begins to wonder how long we've seen Red Bull. Their string of patience is about this big. Excuse me. So I don't see Albon honestly getting a contract extension. I think Nico being there, Perez being around there, one of those two is going to be in that seat next year.
And it's funny because we were talking about this last night at dinner because Chris's mom and dad both watch F1.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris's dad and I was talking about Hulkenberg and, why somebody hadn't picked him up and stuff like that. And then speaking of Red Bull, he was asking me about, what do you think about Honda stepping away? I'm like, well, we definitely need another engine manufacturer now in F1. He's like, supposedly Red Bull's talking about buying all of Honda's.
I did hear that. So they would kind of fund Honda's power plant for F1.
It would be a Red Bull power plant.
Right, but it would be Honda powered or some. There's some way that they would, that I read. I saw the same. They don't want to go back to Renault. They have made that clear.
Yeah, they don't.
I think they have said that they
so
need to.
Your only
they
choice
will.
Then's Ferrari or Mercedes.
Mercedes said no.
Okay,
so they've already
Ferrari.
said no, and I ain't going there right now. So
no,
that's a tough one. So I think at this point they have to almost.
And Red Bull's got the money to do it.
Exactly. That's why I said they have to put the money on the line and do it.
You look at Red Bull and their team principal Christian Horner. He's not a dummy.
No.
I mean, so
Marco's not a dummy.
No.
He may sound like it sometimes.
So, I mean, I think that would be a step in the right direction for them. I mean, but how's that going to affect the 2022 rules? I mean, if I was Red Bull, it's hard because if you step in and do that, so you're going to have this engine, which is pretty much going to be the engine you're running now. You're just going to do a little bit of fine tuning on it for next year.
Right.
Okay, but you're stepping into waters now to where if Honda hasn't started developing a package for 2022 yet, you're starting from scratch and you got a year to make a power plant for the 2022.
Exactly. So, number one, how much money do you want to dump into 2021? Because
that's what I'm saying.
You, at the same time, though, you have to dump money because if not, you lose your top driver. He's gone.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. Verstappen looks. If you don't make this.
But where's he going to go?
Oh, Ferrari or Mercedes would pick him up, I think, at that point. Because Lewis might be stepping out of Mercedes come the regulations. He says he's going to stick around. I see him breaking Schumacher's record this year, sticking around next year, and then probably bidding adieu to F1. It makes sense.
But then we've also heard talks of, Mercedes talking about not being around.
Now, they have signed, I think, to stay within through 2024 now.
Okay.
So that's another. So they have signed there to stick around. And now what has been kind of come out or has come out and been more publicized is I'm drawing a blank now on Mercedes Toto. So he has mentioned, hey, do I want to stay here with Mercedes? I enjoy winning. Yes. But at the same time, I feel like I am at where I am.
There's no challenge for him anymore.
Exactly. He wants a challenge. He wants that.
Could he go to Ferrari?
I think he's going to Aston Martin.
Really?
We've talked about how his relationship, but at the end of the day, like he said, which I did not know, but he owns part of this Mercedes team. He has partial ownership in the Mercedes F1 team. So
I didn't know that either.
Right. Do you step away from part of your ownership and you kind of get into another one? But I mean, I think this guy is the one that could take just about any team on that paddock and give him 3 years, and he's going to compete.
That's why I'm saying, if he decides to leave Mercedes, that's where Ferrari needs to throw everything they have to get Toto there, to get Ferrari back to their winning ways.
Right. Oh, I would agree with you.
It's going to take a miracle to get them back because, what's his name now? That's the team principal who's in charge of Ferrari right now.
Benetto or whatever?
Yeah. He sucks.
Oh, yeah. He was a good engine manufacturer when he was there. But it's like when I think we maybe may have this analogy before. It's kind of like when you take a football defensive coordinator and you move him to a head coach and he doesn't perform, but yet he had the #1 defense for 6 years in the NFL. Mike
McCarthy.
He was meant for a coordinator, not for a head coach. So
right.
He was meant for an engineer, not as a team principal, I think, in my mind. So
Brad says Toto's going to Racing Point.
Bobby Buckner can have a pay raise to go to Ferrari just for broadcast purposes.
Yeah, can I get on that program too? Because I like to have a Ferrari.
Good.
Actually, I wouldn't even be greedy in Ferrari. I'll take just the Cadillac CTSV.
No, yeah, that's nice of you. So,
or a new Corvette.
Those are sweet,
aren't they? Though
they really are.
When I stopped to get my gas station, get my Starbucks, there was a guy sitting there getting gas. He had the Iron Man Audi. Mm-hmm. Is that the RS8?
I think so. Yeah.
Man, that thing was nice. Then he fired it up. It's like, woo.
When I was watching the new Corvettes out at the 8 hour last week, the sound of those cars, oh my!
Don't they sound good?
Oh my, man! I just think I'm a fan of Mustangs, so I like the shorter body. I've never been a huge fan of the limousine look that a Corvette has. To really put that mid-engine in there and shrink it down. Oh man, I think it looks.
What's up, Jarrett?
I think it looks sporty. It looks more.
They don't look like a Batmobile, Daniel.
No, McLaren looks like a Batmobile.
I really think the new Corvettes look a lot like a Ferrari.
Yeah,
I see a lot of Ferrari similarities in it, and Chevy redesigned the Corvette like that's because in the GT cars, they were bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Right.
Now, they brought a missile launcher.
Right. They're competitive now, and I'm excited.
Competitive?
I'm excited to see what they can do next year. Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to see the 24-hour Daytona. And when we talk about that, did you see what somebody in NASCAR, I can't remember, was it Harvick? Or it was Junior. Junior brought up on his podcast talking, he thinks the 24-hour Daytona race should have a class for NASCAR drivers. Or like, I don't know if just NASCAR, I think it was, because you got your open wheels that will run with teams. Because I don't think these guys go out there, but I don't know if he's saying to run a stock car. So you'd have a stock car out there as well.
No.
No.
Bad idea, Junior.
Bad idea, he says.
Jarrett, did you get those stickers? Did they show up yet? They should have.
So, I guess we can move on into NASCAR. Here. And Matty D signs another year with the 21 machine, the Wood Brothers. So let's talk about that last week. Says just a heartbroken Matty D right there.
That was a good run for him too.
It was, and I just wish that's where NASCAR could be a little more consistent with their rules. Because do I see where he was in the wrong? Yeah, I do. But at the same time, you got to call the foul on the 11 too.
Yeah,
in my mind.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep it consistent there. And I don't know. How do you favor Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick this year?
2020.
Right.
And speaking of signing new deals, Clint Boyer signs a new deal.
Yeah, to the booth
with Fox Sports.
So that's, they said, how does this become this in a meme? And I saw the two pictures of how does this was the picture of Boyer and Gordon going at it. Become this. These two announcing together in the booth. I think that's going to be a great combination. I
do too.
I mean, you talk about two guys that know racing.
And if you throw Dale Jr. in there with them.
Oh, he's on NBC.
I know, but I was just saying if there was a way you could have Jeff Gordon, Clint Boyer, and Dale Jr. all three in the booth.
Because Boyer's taking over for DW, right?
Huh?
I think Boyer's taking over for Darrell Waltrip.
Waltrip's been gone.
Or is it? See, I don't know who's he taking over for. Then I'm trying to. She's saying it's becoming a glorified show.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
Now, you want to talk about a glorified poop show is that Xfinity race yesterday. Now, that wasn't a poop show. That was fun. These guys were out there. Water's going all over the place. It looks like the track is flooded. They got overtime in the Xfinity race. These guys are going all over the place. Chase Briscoe, he's in second next to Allmendinger and just spins it coming around into, that turn right outside. So you got the pit wall here, and then these guys coming around turn one, just throttles it too much. Whoop!
Whoopsie. That's great.
It's not wrong.
No.
He's not wrong. She's not wrong at all.
Not at all.
But it's going to be entertaining. That's entertaining. It's
at this point, NASCAR's got to do something.
Right. They
got to do something.
So I see. Today we're racing from
the Roval.
The Roval there. And I think NASCAR is really showing guys that, hey, these new courses, they can be just as entertaining here. But it makes me kind of wonder, it's like back in the day when you saw the Cup Series take Watkins Glen.
Right.
It was anybody's race because nobody knew how. Boris said
if
he was up there.
You always got your ringers that would come in there. Boris said, Andy Lally, guys like that.
But the other guys, man, they're all over the place. And that's what it is kind of like right now. But I hope what doesn't happen, and it will, these guys are professional drivers. These guys are going to end up you're going to see probably the younger guys, I would say, favor these road courses more so than they're going to be the Juan Pablo now that's going to win on road courses.
Well, but you look back in the day when they were running all the road courses, most of the guys that ran NASCAR were good old boys. They come up on dirt tracks. They never ran a road course. They're like, what the hell is this shit
What's
putting
that?
me on?
What's that?
It didn't start getting to Rusty Wallace was pretty good on a road course. Darrell Waltrip was pretty good on a road course.
Well, you're starting to talk about guys that maybe grew up in karting. So they did that road course little. Now they went to oval quickly after.
But nowadays, most of these guys, they're comfortable on a road course. They've ran road courses or they've been to schools to teach them how to run the road courses.
So that's what I hope, honestly, is that we start seeing, because you can have, it's not like it's going to be IndyCar, I don't think, where in these road courses or these possible new street courses here, that they're going to spread out in NASCAR. That's why I think it's going to be a tighter battle in these places just because of how much they really have to woe it down. That's because of see, I disagree. I think some of these younger guys are like, you look at the Xfinity, some of those guys in Xfinity could run these road courses 10 times better than these guys. You look at Briscoe,
Cindric.
Dinger.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys in that Xfinity course that they could take it on. And again, I think it's because that entry level of racing, we talked about it. It went from dirt, and you got guys like Briscoe, like Chase. Those guys, they started in karting. So they have that knowledge of at least a few years behind a road course. That's all they did. So it is a little different there. Absolutely. Yep.
You're exactly right.
Yep.
You're exactly right.
So I think today does put on a good show. I hope for our sake, the entertainment value.
The Roval race was pretty good last year.
But it was sunny. I want to see it pouring. Oh, it was pouring down rain. It was dark. It's like these guys had to be scared yesterday driving.
Who ended up winning?
Allmendinger.
Yeah.
So, took it there. The man, he's got it down on those courses.
Oh, yeah.
He can.
He's
if it wasn't for Briscoe spinning out on the first turn of the restart, they would have went head-to-head for that win, no doubt. But, when you go through a puddle on the interstate and it just splashes up, the guy in front of you does, and your whole windshield gets covered, that's what it looked like on the track last night. And I'm wondering, it's like, you got to have some hydroplaning.
Did it look like on Fast and Furious 2 when they're racing to go get the package out of the Ferrari?
Yes,
and the one car hits the water barrier?
Yeah. It did. And they don't have the spiral coming off of them, the effect like the Indy cars, the open wheels do. They just splash. So I can't imagine. Obviously, being out in front, you've got an advantage right there. I can't imagine being 12th, 13th, 14th. You're all over. Now, granted, you got a little windshield wiper.
Yeah, one little wiper.
Like that. But that was entertaining. I thought that was a really good race there. So I look forward to more of these road course, street course style races. But it's going to chat the ass of these old school drivers.
But I think,
fans.
and here's a suggestion I have for NASCAR, especially in the rain races like that. And I don't know how they would do it, but I think they need to adopt some of the GT car aspects to where, if you're running the rain, I think the Cup cars or the NASCARs, Xfinity cars, whichever they're running, should have headlights on, have a light switch where you can flash at the guy in front of you, let you know.
That what they did have on the back was like what the open wheel cars do. So the red light.
The one red light.
Yes, which looked really weird on a stock car.
One red light.
It looked really weird on a stock car. It's like, no, that's supposed to be on a little square on the back of your wing there, not in the windshield or the back window there. So, but like I said, I hope for a little rain. I hope for safe conditions, obviously. But I think they need to shake up this playoff, and this could really shake it up here and make it interesting going forward. Because I think is today a chase round? Is today one of the cutoffs?
Yes.
So it's going to come down to a tough one here.
Yes.
So I'm excited to see some of that. Like I said, I like we both come from open wheel. The road course street style, that doesn't bother me at all.
No.
I don't mind it. Back even when, like I said, when they were running Watkins Glen and Sonoma, I enjoyed those. I mean, would I want to go to one of those races back then? No, probably not.
I'd like to go to the Xfinity race at Road America.
Now I would, yeah, because I think it's a lot tighter racing. Because back then it would. You'd file out, for 43 times.
Yeah.
And then a minute later, they'd come back around. It's like, okay.
Oh, it's kind of like a Brickyard.
Kind of. I mean, back in the day, it kind of was, yeah. But that's where I think the older fans that like I said, they had that kind of chap butt about it. That's what they remember.
It's called red ass.
That's what they remember there. So I call that diaper rash in here. That's what they remember, though, is that kind of the Boris Sads. Who was the other name you said?
Andy Lally.
So it's those guys they remember, and nobody wants to see that. They don't want a guy coming in for one race.
The road course ringers.
Right. I mean, is it interesting to see?
I think you had Wally Dolan back, too.
Yep, I think you're right there. So, but I guess it is interesting to see because, hey, Boris is back.
Yeah.
It's like the McRib. But at the end of the day, these guys want to see the Chase Elliott's, the Kevin Harvicks. These guys compete on all courses. Like Katie said, to be the best, you got to beat the best. And sometimes the best. To
beat a man, you got to beat the man.
Woo! Sometimes the man is the track.
That's true.
And you're not racing the other competitors. You might be top dog, but that track's going to grab you. So
hold on. Shut the front door. What just happened here? KT finally hit the like button on the Checkers Records page. Thank you, KT. After what, 2 years?
Right. That's good stuff right there. Appreciate that. He's on vacation.
Okay.
So that's why it took him he was busy.
He had to be on a little R&R to hit the like button.
He was busy. He was busy. Thank you, KT. Appreciate that. Jamie Foxx is watching too.
Man.
We're getting popular today.
Jamie Foxx?
Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate that. So
is it like the Ray Charles Jamie Foxx?
No, this person's probably much more important than
okay.
that person. Yeah.
Okay.
No. So I'm trying to think what else do we got to discuss here.
No IndyCar this week because they're off.
They're off for 2 more weeks.
I believe
or
so.
Are they racing next? No, I think it is 2 more weeks. And then they got that last race. So we talked about it.
Speaking of IndyCar, and then, Dwayne was on here. I don't know if he's still on here, but I seen where he was going to spot a ARCA race down in Florida at, damn it, I can't think of the name of the track. We've raced it on iRacing.
Volusia.
Is that in Pensacola?
I think so.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's it.
The dirt track you're talking, right?
No, this was ARCA.
Oh, Five Flags.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he is. He's spotting that.
Yeah.
I saw that for Chase Cabray. So,
yes.
Good luck down there, Dwayne. Appreciate that. Oh, yeah, this is Jamie Foxx much better. Much more talented, too.
Oh, okay.
He's a Carter.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So not Mr. Electricity from Spider-Man there or whatever.
Okay.
So
look, all three of them the same.
Five flags.
It's five flags.
Oh man, I got too much coffee in me today.
So, well, since they're on here, we might as well jump into what day is it today, Tommy boy?
Slide Job Sunday.
I like Slide Job Sunday.
Yeah, you get all bummed.
Even though last week I didn't get the result I was expecting, I go out and practice because Knoxville's my jam.
Right.
I was pretty happy. I was top 10. I think I was 9th in times in practice, so that's not too bad. Especially, running against monsters of dirt.
Right.
If you can be top 10, that's pretty fast.
Oh, yeah. So, real quick, somebody said this on today's broadcast. Practice don't pay the bills, sunshine.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. But
I'm with you, though.
It kind of gives you,
that was just a perfect lead
point.
in there.
But, and now this season, John's decided we do the pill draw. No qualifying, the pill draw. And I get the worst pill draws every time I'm in the back. But so come out in the main, running good, moving up. Because I started like 20 something, I think, and I get up and I'm like 12th, so I'm making progress. Come out of 4, guy gets loose. He's trying to run it down the slick, gets loose, hits me, done, game over.
That's where I really feel like you gotta have that sense of awareness on dirt that I just don't understand yet. Because that guy, that might have been his line. I just don't know. And I put it right there in the racing line. I just don't know those things. And that's where I find dirt to be really hard, is figuring out when that guy comes into the turn and you're going around him, where to place your car, knowing he's going to come up the track, or you know what I'm saying? Just the physics, I guess, of turning the car on dirt, I can get. It's when I'm going around somebody else is figuring where that car is going to be and where I need to put myself. That's my problem.
And I've been guilty of it, and I know some people, they see a guy getting ready to pass them on the outside or something, so they swing it just a little bit wider
right.
so you don't go around them on the outside. But and driving on the slick, that throws in a whole new factor of it. And I've been trying to practice more on slick tracks to where I can hold a better line on the slick, because
right. Oh, I hit that and I'm just shoot.
Yeah,
it's like ice for me.
It's hard, holding it steady on the slick. You just have to, as Double A says, you got to do the dance. So you're basically doing the dance with the throttle pedal.
That's what Daniel does.
Just kind of easing it through there until you get it through. But being able to do that and still go fast is two different things.
Absolutely. But that's where you hear guys that talk about pedals and stuff like that. The G29 just doesn't have that stiffer throttle pedal. So that's where, like Hayden has talked about before, the Fan Attack, you'll just get more consistent laps with that because of that just touchiness.
Well, yeah, because I have a damper on my throttle pedal,
right,
because I got the V3 pedals.
Right.
So the damper, and I'm even thinking about tonight going ahead and pulling it apart and putting the heavier spring in there. So I have the heavier spring and the damper. So you
Todd
get some,
Hook says pretend there's an egg under. What I've learned is pretend that your cojones are under there. You drive. I'll smash an egg. I don't mind. I will not smash the other thing I mentioned. That ain't gonna happen. So that's how I really try to run, and I've gotten a lot better with that throttle control. And it's just I think running dirt is definitely a huge benefit to the throttle control right there. So if you want to learn real big throttle control, you want to really learn how to hold it, go get yourself in a UMP Modify, go put yourself in a 410 or a midget, and you really learn throttle control.
So let's see, we started doing iRacing last November, December is about when we started.
Right.
So looking back then to now, how we are on dirt, I think we made huge improvements. Huge improvements.
Absolutely.
Because at first I couldn't even hold a line on dirt.
Oh no, I was
now I'm pretty confident in a 305. I'm not saying that's the hardest car to drive, but and I can hold a line on a street stock. That Bomber series is fun.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Even though I didn't make it to halfway last week.
Kokomo with what? How many cars? 43?
40-some cars at Kokomo. That was chaotic, but it was fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a blast right there. So that's the one where it's kind of like it's not a staged demolition derby, so race clean. You're gonna get into people. It's got a low incident count, so guys were flying off the track though. So
I had incidented out, like I said before, halfway.
Right. Yeah, I was right after you there.
I mean, there was so many cars, there was no place to hide. You know, you go out there and just kind of hide and just turn laps and try to keep it clean. You couldn't do it there. I mean, there was chaos everywhere.
It was. And I didn't know where the leaders were, where the guy in front of me was, because there's so many cars on the track. But it's fun. I mean, that Monsters of Dirt, they're always going to bring 40-plus cars to the event. So you're always going to have a good time there. And like you said, I mean, really humbling at times. You go over there, they got some fast guys in that league. So
yeah, because you can go run officials and win officials and like, okay, yeah, I'm doing pretty good, you know. You go run Monsters of Dirt and you're mid-pack, and it's like, what happened?
So
that's just the level of competitors you're racing against, man.
I was broadcasting an Australian league this morning.
Yes. And I was still sleeping.
I love just listening to these. Like, you know what the worst thing about, because I told them I love when an Australian, when I'm in a road course race, mics up. Oh, that's going to be a clean one. These guys know how to run it. They're not just wagons around there. It's good. So he was like, the one thing we hate is when you guys in America mic up is like, oh, you're an Aussie, and you do an English accent. And he's like, what are you doing? I just think that's absolutely hysterical, and I've heard it before. It's just funny to hear from those guys, you know, us over in America. It just shows how dumb we are sometimes.
Hey, and this just in, John says he's raising the incidents for next week or next on short tracks.
You got it?
It was nuts. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. And then he's turning Wednesday's Hawkeye series into an Enduro series now. 4 classes, 4 winners, all open sets.
Woo!
That kind of sounds fun, too.
Right? I don't know about open sets.
Yeah, I'm not an open set kind of guy.
John, you're going to have to send me your sets.
Yeah.
I'll do what I can to get there. I just need some sets. So,
well, you know who to hit up for sets.
That's very true.
Who?
Rocket Racing Setups there. Check them out, guys.
They got the fast sets, man.
He does there. I'm waiting. He's been hiring some new guys there, and I'm waiting for him to hire a solid sports car. That way I can just burn this rubber, because Scott Downing and myself are running that enduro here at 1:00. So we've been pretty steadily advancing in that as well. So it's kind of the one official I really look forward to each week now. It's that Sunday at 1. We're going to change it to Saturday, I think, after that. So my Sundays are pretty busy.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We do got the Pricks of Pavement going tonight from Texas on
100
CWTV.
Yeah.
I think it's 100.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's a memorial race, too.
Oh, yes. It is the, give me a second. I know it's Mr. Cornwell.
John, help us out.
It's Mr. Cornwell.
Yes.
Let me I'll get you the exact name here. It is the Gary Cornwell Memorial tonight. So check out that. That is Randy's grandfather, I believe, passed there. So they're going to do a race there for him. Cool deal there. And he's actually putting himself in his grandpa's old paint, too. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So we'll see Cornwell how he does out today, how he pulls out. He did a good run there last week on CWTV, so hopefully he can pull it out today in the memorial for his grandfather there. So
you're not wrecking me, buddy, because I'm not running Pricks of Pavement. Ha ha.
Sprints.
We were just talking about running dirt cars, dude.
So I'm trying to think. The only thing we got left now is just some fun and
oh, real fast, we didn't talk about it earlier when we were talking about karting. I meant to bring this up. Our little buddy Asher.
Oh, yeah.
So they had a problem. They've been running a Honda motor all season, and last week Brandon went to do a clutch change, and part of the crankshaft broke off.
Chipped.
So they switched to the Comer engine, and Asher goes out and wins, running away with the win, almost a 2-lap lead on the field.
He had the new Honda on yesterday.
It was Comer, wasn't it?
No, he had the new Honda on yesterday. They got a new one. It got in there. He put the new motor. He ran a new motor yesterday.
I know, but it was a Comer, isn't it?
No, that's a Honda. That was a Honda he got on there.
So they went back to a Honda.
Yeah, those Comers are hard to tune.
Okay.
That's what he was saying. The Honda is kind of like a 206 where you set it and you forget it.
Okay.
So,
oh, Dan, you're going to come run some sprints? Yeah, you're not going to wreck me, dude. You're not going to be close to me.
Well, when you go around them.
Yeah. Maybe when I lap you.
But yeah, he ended up taking
kidding,
second place in his division, his class, for his first season. So that's a huge accomplishment.
He made huge progress this season. I mean, you walk away with your head up high. You went out and you progressed every time you hit the track.
Right.
Whether it be Newcastle or Whiteland.
Yep.
You got a couple wins this season.
You felt what it was like to be in a wreck.
Yep.
I mean, you did it all.
You're stepping up into the next level of karting next year. You're going to the 206 class.
Yep.
And you've already been doing some testing in that. So, yeah, you've had a really strong season, buddy. We're proud of you.
Absolutely. Man, I can't keep these things in. Yeah, you did a great job, and that's what he just taking this year and learning.
Yep.
And really doing a good job with that. So, congrats, buddy. It is now time
for
the Checkers and Wreckers Picks of the Week. You know what it is. Woo! We're going to take the Checkers.
And the Wreckers.
I thought you were going to do a woo! Woo! And pick those guys, and as well as a dark horse there. So join along with us. We'll pick our Checkers today. And I think that number 9 Napa car going to find his way to the front at the Roval. So Chase Elliott for my checker today.
Daniel, going on that. Brandon was saying yesterday that deal's not completely solid, so they may be running their Tony kart next year because that's what they've already had. They already bought that kart, and that Tony kart was a championship-winning kart, so they may end up just running the Tony kart next year, which wouldn't be a bad choice.
Nope.
Because you know my feelings on that. I'm all about a Tony kart.
Yeah, you like those.
Oh, yeah. I think that's the best kart out there. But so my checker, I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney.
Nice there. I could see him having a solid run here today and go through wrecker pick. And, man, it can be a tough one. I'll go with starting 6th, Austin Dillon. I just don't see him. He's kind of
always backfires me when I picked him.
I just think he's not had that season this year. He started off a little strong. He's faded since I think he missed that one race. I don't know if it was due to COVID or having a kid. I can't remember exactly. You miss a race, you just assume it was COVID. But I don't know if it's a family issue or something like that. But since he missed that race, it's kind of like he's kind of fallen back in the standings here.
Okay. Let's see, a wrecker pick here. I'm gonna go with Brad Keselowski.
I could see that very well there. And we do the dark horse now as well, and I'm gonna I picked him the last time we were at a road course. He did well for me. He did a great job last week. I think he rides off that momentum. He's hungrier than he was before. And that's Matty D.
Damn it, that's who I was going to take.
Whoa, no, now he's going to wreck. Gosh.
I'm not taking him, though. You just picked him. So.
Yeah, but that's who you had in your head.
I'm taking Christopher Bell.
All righty. He starts deep in the field, but he could get it done here today.
Daniel, answer your question. No, I'm not getting one. My eyes are set on a dirt street stock.
Ooh.
Do you see the post I put on the page for the fairgrounds?
Oh yeah, that looks like it's moving quick.
I want a dirt street stock.
So it'd be fun.
I don't know nothing about dirt racing as far as actually
you didn't know
doing
nothing
it.
about karting though.
No. I don't know what to buy for a dirt street stock, so anybody out there has any info, Howdy wants a dirt street stock for next year.
There you go. Get with AC. Anthony from he's always on CWTV there, he knows dirt stuff. He's local. He's just a little farther south. I met him in Lawrenceburg. That's Rennie's dad.
Okay, he might need to be my mechanic.
Right. So, guys.
Anthony Carr, if you can be my setup guy.
Right. He's watching his son play football now. I know he'll watch this later. He'll be all pumped.
Daniel's got Bowman Checker, Keselowski Wrecker, and no, it's not a hat trick on Matty D because I didn't pick him.
So we'll see how it goes. Racing is a money pit.
Yeah, John, any racing's a money pit.
Yeah, unless iRacing. Like Daniel didn't have to, he could have just hit that reset button instead of pulling out the 200 mile per hour.
Yeah.
But yep, that is what we got for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, you guys can check out our fantastic partners at Bruzy Raceware USA, John.buzzard over at First Financial Bank,
Auralex
Acoustics, making it sound crisp, clean, and perfect in here. You also got the Rockstar Realtor, Shawn.nugent. So, yeah, that's that good guitar. Yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for partnering with us, Driving for Dyslexia, the ButtKicker. All you guys, so much fun. Thanks all.
And don't forget, tune in later on today. Tommy Boy will be putting up the interview with Andy O'Gara and the track walk at Whiteland.
Absolutely. So thank you guys so much. We didn't forget you, John. We talked about you for a half hour.
Yeah.
Monsters of Dirt. We love them. We love them. So.
We race in it. We support it.
Absolutely. Guys, check us out. www.bwsports1.
Real fast, John, before you go, is 305 is going to be broadcast tonight. I know that was a deal that was in the works.
360s, I thought.
Well, no, 360s was broadcast last week. Right. 305s wasn't.
By Austin Anderson. He was rocking it, wasn't he?
I don't know.
I think they did it on the YouTube page.
On 305s maybe, because I
think Austin was doing the broadcast.
I know Weezy jumped in and did the 360s.
Right.
Because it was kind of last minute, but he stepped up and did it. So I don't know if we'll have Weezy for the 305s tonight or not. Hopefully we do get somebody to broadcast. Not that it really makes a difference, but, at least that kind of helps John, helps the Monsters of Dirt out. People get to watch the race, cheer on their drivers, cheer on Howdy.
From what I do, I think if John doesn't have it actually broadcast by SRTV, CWTV, somebody like that, then he will post it on that Monsters of Dirt YouTube. Yeah, so check out, get over there on the Monsters of Dirt. We got to make you Meowdy sprint.
Ooh.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in here today to Checkers and Wreckers. We appreciate each and every one of you.
And don't forget, check us out on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button and follow us, BW Sports 1 on YouTube. That's the numeral 1. Hop over there, subscribe. You can see all the shows, previous shows. If you just want to binge watch Checkers and Wreckers, you can do that on YouTube.
Absolutely.
SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes, all the socials, you can find us.
You got that. www